Hello and welcome, or welcome back. Today we are doing another ink review, and if you are new here, I am also new to fountain pen inks and fountain pens in general, so we are learning together. Today I am reviewing an ink by Diamine. I hope I am saying that correctly. And again, Celadon cat, I don't know what that is, but hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly also. This is a color that looks like it should be like a bluish gray maybe, I don't know. So we shall see how this looks. Very pretty bottle. This one is plastic. Sometimes these fountain pen inks will come in plastic bottles, other times they come in glass bottles. It just depends. It's a little on the smaller side, but these inks are a lot less pricey. So I think it's just the trade-off. The ink is still fabulous, I'm sure, but the packaging is less expensive, is what my guess is. I don't really know, but anyway, we're going to do the swatch first, so I don't forget to do it later, and then we'll let this set aside and dry while we do the swatches on different colors of paper. So again, if you're new, what I do is I do a swatch like this, and then I do 3 different types of paper. We do a copy paper, because maybe that's all you have available. We'll do a HP 32 paper, which is again a copy paper, but it's like a better quality, smoother type copy paper. And then we do Tomo River paper, which is a very nice paper for writing. It shows off the different qualities of ink really well usually. That is what I do to make sure that we are getting a really good review on different papers, because some people don't have Tomo River available to them, or they just don't want to spend the money. So, you know, that's why we try them on the different papers. All right, so I'm going to try to get it to pool more on this side. That was good. All right, so let's rinse this off, and then I will also write the name. So far it does look kind of like a gray. It's very pretty. There we go. So we got the name on there. Then I rinse this off. And the reason is so that each swatch that I do is going to be, it keeps the variables down basically. It makes everything the same going down onto the paper. All right, so the ink is starting to pool, which is what I wanted. And I'm going to set it aside to dry. And already it looks like there is some shading going on, which is really fun. Okay, so that's exciting. I really like shading a lot. Probably my favorite ink property, but all right, let's see here. Okay, here is the cheap copy paper. This is like the cheapest stuff you can get, pretty much. You can just get it over at Walmart or something. And we're going to see how this performs, because maybe this is all you have on hand and you want to know if it's worth getting this ink if you can't see the parts of the ink that you like, because some people are really into like the different shading or sheens or glitters or whatever that are in the inks, and if that property doesn't show up on the paper that you're using, it's not worth getting that ink, or it's not worth using that paper. You might be better off buying the fancy paper, or whichever paper you need to get the effect you want out of the ink, because not all the expensive papers are the same. So if you get like Tomo River paper, there's other ones. I think Midori is another one, and there's a couple others that are supposed to be really nice papers, but they don't all show off the ink properties the same. So you know, you might want one versus another, or even with the HP 32, sometimes HP 32 paper looks nice enough that you don't need to get one of the other expensive papers necessarily if it does what you want it to do, basically. All right, this is cat, and this is copy paper. Okay, so this is, I think this is a gray, but it is kind of like a green blue. I don't know how to describe it. And even though this is just copy paper and there is a little bit of feathering and whatever, it's, you definitely see the different, I don't know, like there is some shading, especially over here in these splotches I put down. There's some sort of a color variation of some kind. It looks really pretty. All right, so I'm gonna set that aside to dry while we go to the next one. We'll do HP 32. And that's this. And if you've never used it before, it's a little bit thicker, it's smoother. I think it helps the ink show off its properties before it dries or something, is the way I understand it. Okay. And if there are any other ink reviews you'd like to see, any other, maybe you have some ink that's a favorite or one that you're thinking of buying and you want to see it reviewed, let me know. And if I have it, we'll review it. And if I don't have it, I might be able to get it. So definitely let me know. Squiggle these lines here. This already feels much better on the paper with just this one upgrade. And this is HP32. And this HP32 paper it's more than regular copy paper, but it's not as expensive as the expensive papers. It's a very good middle ground. And you get a lot of it. And I cut all these papers down to size just so that I'm not wasting as much paper. So they actually are like the regular 8.5 by 11 size. Because it is just copy paper. Alright, so this already is showing some really pretty like shading in here. And on the writing you can see it. So this is definitely an ink that you could use with this paper and still see some really nice different properties with it. And I wonder, never mind. Alright, so we're going to try the Tomo River. And I just glanced over at that that swatch we made at the beginning, and it looks pretty wet still. So I may put that in front of a fan to get it to dry. We'll see. Okay, this is the Tomo River paper. It's very, very thin if you've never used it before. It's almost like tracing paper, and it's also very smooth. And it doesn't, like the ink typically doesn't bleed through even though it's thin. Sorry, I'm trying to find the smooth side of this pen. These glass pens, typically, all of them that I've ever used, all have like a smooth side and a scratchy side. It's almost like the way the pen is made. For some reason, it's like that's just automatically how it is. I'm going to fill in these gaps a little bit more. I guess I'll leave that one. Anyway, yeah, so the glass pens, sometimes when you're writing with them, if it feels scratchy, just twirl it in your fingers a little bit and get a different side and continue writing, and usually that fixes the problem. You find a side that's not so scratchy. I'm trying to see like the color. The color is pretty close compared to the little label on the bottle. And the label on the bottle is not a swatch, it's just like printed on there. So I never expect those little labels to be exact, but this does look really nice. And you can get these inks, you can usually get them on Amazon, which I will have some links below. The Amazon links I have, they are an affiliate link, so it does help me out if you use them, but it doesn't cost you anything extra. It just gives me a small bonus, like small kickback amount. All right. Oh wait, I'm writing the name of the paper. Whoops. Tomo River. Okay. I'm gonna rinse off this pen. Alright. And I'm gonna close up this bottle because I'm afraid I'm gonna knock it over. Okay. So as you can see, this ink is gorgeous. It doesn't matter that it didn't come in a glass bottle or anything. But there's that bottle again. I'm going to set this aside. And this looks like it's still, the writing is dry, but it looks like these splotches here, the splotches need a little more time to dry, but you can already see how the colors have separated and they're shading, and it's so pretty. And this is how it looks when you write with it. It is a gray, but it's changing from, I don't even know how to describe it, almost like a blue gray to like a warm gray as you're writing with it. So the the writing changes as you're going. It's not just one, like a flat gray. If I had another like flat gray, which I don't know if I have any flat grays, but if I had one, I could hold it up against this and you'd see what I mean. It just changes, like the color is changing as you're writing with it, like the different, just like normal shading would, but it's just variations of different colored grays. So it looks gray, but it's not, it's hard to explain. I guess I'm doing a poor job of explaining it. There's different types of grays in here, and as you're writing, you see the different grays as you write. So it's not just one flat color, I guess is what I'm trying to say. All right, and then you can see on these lines, the slow lines where it changes as it goes. So this is a really, really pretty color. I'm gonna let those splotches dry for a minute while we look at the other two. So yeah, all right, so here is the copy paper, the cheap copy paper. Even on this cheap copy paper, you can see, let me get my pen. See here where it's definitely like the reverse of shading, almost like the darker color is in the middle, and then it's got like this lighter bluish gray on the edges, which is really pretty. You can see the slight color change in the grays as you're writing, like it does have that shading effect. So this would be totally fine on plain copy paper. There's a tiny bit of feathering, but if that doesn't bother you, then I would say go for it. This one on the HP32, you get that same change in the writing. I hate to call it shading because it's not shading in the normal sense where, you know, it's a darker color on one side or whatever, like one color on one side, another color on the other. It's more mixed, so as you're writing, the color goes back and forth and it changes as it goes, which is really unusual. And I think it looks so pretty. Like, I don't know if you like grays, but I like grays. And this is a really interesting one. All right, and then here is that HP32 again. So now the line came out, my writing lines came out thinner, probably because I was, without realizing, using a different side of the glass pen. But you can still see the changes in the color. There is a little bit of shading, like very slight, and you can see it in here, that shading coming out here around the edges, along with the color change in the gray. So this is a very unusual color. This is not what I would have expected, and it's very, very pretty. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely recommend this one. And then, especially if you want something a little bit interesting, and this actually is just about dry. Looks like it might be slightly damp over here. So, and you can see in the writing on this one, it really comes out how, like, let's say that eye is definitely lighter here and here. But it's not just that it's light or dark, it's also a different color, a different shade of gray, a different, like, hue or something. Very, very pretty. And you can see in here, it's like where it's blooming on the edges, like a halo of like blue. And then there's this warmer color in here. I don't know what that is. I thought at first it might have been green, but it's not really a green. It's more like a peachy color almost or something. So let me just stick this in front of a fan. I'll be right back. We'll see if it looks different when it's fully dry. Okay, I am back, and here's how it looks. It's pretty much the same as before. I don't know how to describe this. It's beautiful, very stormy looking, very cloudy, like on a cloudy, stormy day. You've got this beautiful like blue peeking through here. This wonderful shading around the edges here. And this is like I guess this would be almost a green gray or a warm gray. And this is definitely cooler. And then you've got these like little patches here where it's almost like a peachy, very, very sheer type peach with the gray in it. And I don't know how to describe this color, but obviously I'm struggling. This is beautiful. And let me show you under the light in case that illuminates anything here. Here's that without the light. And then we'll do the same here just one more time on these swatches and arrange them a little better. So copy paper on the left, HP32 in the middle, and Tomoe River on the right. And this is how it looks with the light on it. So yeah, this is, for an inexpensive ink, this is fantastic. It does well on all three papers for different reasons. Yeah, especially if you're looking for a really moody, stormy gray color, this is perfect. And I'm going to have to probably get myself another bottle of this just in case they decide to discontinue it. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you again soon. You have a wonderful day.